I'm Phil, and we're continuing with our exploration of images on the Raspberry Pi. Let's do a recap. The overall objective is to explore creating and manipulating images, while primarily on the Raspberry Pi. We're also going to add the Windows PC, perhaps compare the two of them. We previously looked at capturing images on the camera, the Raspberry Pi camera. We captured images from the internet, and we have already started doing AI image generation, and we looked at offline. And today, in this video, we're going to look at online AI image generation. And we've previously looked at using TensorFlow with image recognition. Applications, STEM education, and for group demos at Osprey and robots and AI. Now, I'm probably going to use the top model of the Raspberry Pi, the latest one, Model 5, and I'm using it with 16 gigabytes of RAM. And I'm adding these additional components to cool it down a little bit. It is getting quite busy. Okay, software-wise, we've already looked at Node-RED and Coral. I've mentioned paint and drawing programs, but today I'm going to focus on Stable Diffusion as one of the techniques for generating images. So the background to that is to use the Stable Diffusion model. It's part of deep learning. And most of the demos will be text-to-image models, and they'll be used not only in creating the model, but we can extend the images with both in-painting and out-painting to modify the images. And so we can have a conversation with this image creation process. And Stable Diffusion was fairly recent, 3 years old, and it's based on the diffusion model. So it gets the concepts from thermodynamics, where we have diffusion, and the basis for that is this model here, which is got three spaces. There's a pixel space, a latent space, and a conditioning space. And there's interaction between all of them. And the idea is that it was meant to run on simple consumer GPUs or even CPUs. And our model that we had on the last video, the offline Stable Diffusion, was based on this principle. Okay, so the offline, if we go to the Raspberry Pi Foundation, there's a description on how we can run that project. And offline, we're going to look at that today. And we'll be looking at mainly Stability.ai, but we'll compare it with other image generation models. So let's go across to the projects. And where we're looking at, we're at the AI image generation. And we've done offline. So let's have a look to see what's online. And we're going to start off with Stable Diffusion online with a chat. And the idea here is that we do a chat going to the website, and we're going to generate the AI with these prompts. And the prompts are going to be very simple ones. So we're going to create a cinematic film still, an action photo with a tiger riding on a skateboard. And so this is actually based on one of the prompts that they have already. The next one will be the Putin Russian leader wearing a Nazi uniform. And we're going to have a op art of a tiger again in a saturation mode. And finally, we'll do a Spitfire on the Sydney Harbour Bridge. So hardware-wise, we're going to use the Windows PC at this time. And software-wise, we just go and to this website and have a look at it. So we'll go across there. Okay, so the website's loading, and we'll go right to the top. And what you do here is you get your key from the Stability AI website, and you add that here. So I'm not going to go across that, but if you scroll down, there's a number of small modules within this Colab website. So if we just go down, you can actually see some of the images that are generated. And there's a couple of things. You can either just use the prompts and put a seed in, or alternatively, you can modify the code. So this is the code that's used, and the highlight is the prompt, and that's embedded within this Python uh, program. So there's an example of the output that you get from it. And the one with the cat, and the one with the cat. Now we're going to modify that and replace the cat with a tiger. And the one with the what you do with this one is just sketch or draw a sketch and base a image and extend it. So this is a bit like the out painting. Here we go. This is the original and the modified version of our sketch. And there's a lot of interesting things here. This is quite interactive, and I suggest you might like to have a look at that. Okay, so that's the website. Let's have a look at the our results. So we've now got our tiger on the skateboard, and that's replaced the cat. So you can manipulate with the text and have a conversation and modify these. Um, Here's our Russian leader, and we've also modified the cat, replaced the cat with a tiger. And the final one, we've got our Spitfire on the Sydney Harbour Bridge. Um, you pay by the prompts, so there is a cost involved in doing that. And it gives you a bit of an idea of how much you can use it. Okay, so that was interesting. We might go across and see how we've done that with APIs. So we'll go to our next project, and it's creating, there are two prompts this time. And one is we're going to give it a text prompt, creating a lighthouse overlooking the ocean. And the second one will be a kangaroo on the beach. Probably should elaborate that second one. Again, same hardware. Oh, this time we're using the Raspberry Pi, and software-wise, we'll have a look at the first one. Our code for the first one, we'll look at that first. Okay, well, so we'll expand and look at the code. And what you have to do is put a key in here. And we've got our prompt. So it's actually quite a simple Python program where we call up the website stability.ai, and we're getting our output returned as a WebP file. Okay, so let's go and have a look at the result on that one. So that first prompt, here's our lighthouse. So there's this is the file that was returned to us to the Raspberry Pi. Let's have a look at the next one, which is our kangaroo on the beach. And we had a similar Python program to generate that. And another one. So we've got two cats this time. And finally, we might actually use this as a bit of a benchmark. And the prompt is a nice wooden house in the forest. And what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to give it this sketch. So this sketch came from clip art, or you could draw something similar yourself. And I'm going to ask Stability AI to generate a picture based on that. And this is the picture. And it's not bad. It actually shows you the house, the correct number of stories, the window, and there's no upper window and no chair. Oh, there is a chair there, so it's added the chair, but you'll notice the fence and the skewing of the path are similar to what I had in the original model. Okay, that's quite interesting, that one. So I recommend perhaps playing around with that one. Okay, so looking a bit further, there's DALL-E and Microsoft Copilot. So DALL-E, we might actually look at. So DALL-E, I've got the house in the forest again, but this time we've got a big storm looming in Australia, in both Queensland, southern Queensland and northern New South Wales. And what I'm going to do in this project is that I'm going to present DALL-E with a prompt, and the prompt is a picture on an island ready with a storm. Okay, so here's the prompt. My holiday island, and I'm in a storm, and I'm on the beach. And this is the prompt that I'm giving it. So the result, it actually has quite an interesting conversation. So it gives me my image, gives me the prompt, and it tells me a bit about what's happening on that image and gives me an image. It's quite interesting. The only thing about DALL-E is that on the free, you only get a couple of chances a day, perhaps about 2 images a day, and that's it. So the second one, we've got our house in the forest, and what we're going to do is extend that within a conversation. We're going to use a Windows PC this time, and here's our house, and we'll have a look at what the result is. So it's given us a number of houses on the in the forest based on our original. It's gone a little bit more elaborate this time compared to my original sketch. Okay, so you can do the same thing with Microsoft. So you use Copilot on PowerPoint. We can create images there. So the house in the forest, similar prompts, and this is what we get from Microsoft. So there's the images that were created. And the conversation was to try and modify it to make it a little bit more realistic. So when it came up first time, it had 3 stories with 2 windows on the upper story. And I told it to change it so it only had 1 window on the upper story. And what's interesting about Copilot is that you can actually generate whole PowerPoints. And I've generated these presentations. One is the history of robots and AI. And we can actually have a look at what that does. So the hardware, Windows PC, and Microsoft Copilot with PowerPoint. And the results are this one. So it generated a whole PowerPoint presentation on, just based on the title that I gave it as a prompt. And I've done a few other ones. The more controversial one is the pause AI. And the objective here is to actually look at the risk. Should we pause AI? That was the question that I posed to Microsoft. Same hardware, same software, with a different prompt this time. And here is my PowerPoint presentation. So I hope you enjoyed some of the exploration of creating AI images, not only using Raspberry Pi, but on your PC. And you can go across and check them out on the web. Plenty of references. So we'll have a look at the references before I look at my proposed projects. So one of them is drawing, and I'm interested in creating a virtual environment for Python. So quite a few extensions there for the reference. Proposed projects, I'm going to look at an armed robot constructing a Lego building. and a robot playing AI music, and helping a person with disabilities so that my text will be turned into diagrams that they understand. And finally, the robot's going to draw a simple image created by a text prompt. And that's it for this video. Stay tuned for the next one where we'll do machine learning and we'll have a look at teachable machines.